You're listening to the Cloud 5 podcast. I'm Jack Mackay, but you'll know me as the posh one with the irritating voice. Today on the show, we look at some of humanity's strangest forays into space, including jellyfish, monkeys, and savoury pastries. Brian May's new fragrance has some eyebrows raised and gag reflexes activated, and Luke takes us on a journey through nature's most horrifying creatures, including nightmare worms and suicidal zombie cockroaches. You can catch us here every Saturday at 7 p.m. on your favourite audio streaming service or at midday on Sunday on YouTube. A quick side note, due to our limited equipment and experience, the audio can be a bit patchy in places. This clears up for the most part after about 25 minutes in, and we're hoping to invest in some better mics and recording software if you like what you hear today. Thanks for sticking with us, and we hope you enjoy the show. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Cloud 5, the brand new podcast where 5 British idiots delve into the latest and strangest in news and pop culture. Before we dive into the first ever episode of Cloud 5, some introductions to the cast of irreverent imbeciles who'll be guiding you through this week in weird news. First up, I'm Jack. I'm the posh one. We've got Brandon.
Hello.
We've got George.
Hello.
We've got Joe.
Hello.
And we've got Luke.
Hello.
I love how it slowly got more seductive from Brandon to Joe.
Hello.
So, Joe said that biting his lip, like, hello.
I want the audience to like it. Like I
Oh,
like
they
it.
wouldn't even really like it.
So welcome everybody to the first ever episode of Cloud 5. We got a let's say an unprecedented response. I mean, it was nice to see people actually respond well to the ridiculous trailer I put out. We've got an audience of more than 6 people, which is quite exciting.
Yeah, more than just ourselves, which is exciting.
Last week we had an attempt, and we recorded it via Anchor, our distributor, and there was an audio problem, and everything overlapped and delayed, and it was a nightmare. 2 hours of footage lost. So it's been a week. We've done a little ad campaign over the last 24 hours. And spammed everyone's Instagrams with adverts, and so here we are, finally at the brink of something truly wonderful. Shout out to a particular audience member, my drama teacher Lydia. Yeah, for expressing interest and demanding that she be able to listen to the podcast. If you're out there, Lydia, hello. And I hope I don't disappoint you too greatly. First up, thought we'd kick off with a bang with our weekly round of headliners, the segment where you lot fill in the gaps of the zaniest headlines I could find in the depths of the internet. This game was very, very fun last time. I think we had a fella who changed his name to Celine Dion, and we had a predictions list: tsunami warning, end of the world, and blank. And I believe the only thing you could think of that was worse than the end of the world was naked Pope. So that's fun. This week, our first headliner: Dutch border officials confiscate blank from UK lorry drivers.
20 newborns.
Gotta get that somehow.
Is it buckets of water in an attempt to flood the Netherlands?
Is that what you think the UK has resorted to?
Yeah.
Yeah, Brexit means Brexit.
Brexit means Brexit. Well, actually, a little clue. I don't know if it is a clue. It probably won't be, but it is Brexit related. What the UK
trying to get into the Netherlands?
They're trying to bring something into
We're breaking down the EU.
You think
what
UK refugees trying to get into the Netherlands?
No.
I think it is probably refugees trying to flee Brexit.
Is it magic stars?
No, the answer is ham sandwiches.
The
Why?
ham sandwiches. Wait, they were smuggling ham sandwiches into the Netherlands.
No. Nothing about smuggling. That's something that obviously you would assume thinking about it. But no, border guards in the Netherlands have actually confiscated ham sandwiches and other foods from UK lorry drivers. It comes after new border controls were put in place between the UK and the EU following the end of the Brexit transition period. Dutch TV network NPO1, catchy, filmed officials explaining to drivers that travellers from outside the EU are banned from bringing in meat and dairy. So if you're not allowed to bring meat, fruit, vegetables, fish, that kind of stuff into...
So you're allowed to bring a bottle of wine, but not a ham sandwich.
Well, I don't know what the actual official rules are, but ham sandwiches, no, they actually stop them and took their ham. One surprise driver asked if he could at least keep the bread. That would devastate you, wouldn't it? You're tucking into your lunch and heading into the Netherlands and think, oh, I've been in this lorry all day. My arse is numb. I really can't wait to chow down on my ham sandwich that my loving wife made for me. And then turns out it's snatched from you.
Why don't you just eat it like just before he comes? If you know he's coming for it, you just eat it in front of him.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
Does it count as bringing it in if it's inside you, or they like cut it out?
Well, they're not going to dissect you and say, "Oh, that come on, you're clever. You can't get past."
You never know
us.
These people.
Rules are rules, Jack.
Yeah, no,
Dutch.
you got to wait for it to be digested, and then you're allowed through.
You just take a fat
Wow.
poo on the floor.
Oh, brilliant! It's taken 6 minutes to get there. Poo.
I know.
Brilliant. What are lorry drivers going to eat then? They must have to stop, surely, for like McDonald's and stuff.
Well, they can't have a cheese sandwich either, can they?
No, dairy's not allowed either.
Can't even have a yogurt.
Marmite only.
Corn products, as in like corn, as in like the meat, artificial stuff.
Corn ham.
Yeah.
Rich tea biscuits and like.
Well, I'm convinced that teddy bear ham, Billy bear ham, is not meat. It's something.
No. That
Yeah, no, that is
It's
something.
it's something dark.
It's something from another planet. I'm sure.
Satan's foreskin.
It's them.
Oh my god.
Hi there. Hope you're enjoying the show. Hope you're enjoying the show, Lydia. It's a great one. If you're still listening, she probably tuned out at poo, didn't she? Yeah, all our friends. Are you proud of us? Are you proud of us? This is where we are now. Next headline.
Bring it on.
Police wrangle loose blank on Missouri Road.
Oh.
So what was being wrangled, do you reckon? Brandon,
Like,
watch yourself.
Well, actually, the first thing that came to my mind was turtle. Just like
Alligator.
no snapping turtles. You know those like mean little guys that will like rip your nuts off.
Yes, I'm very familiar with that aspect of their biology.
They go specifically for the nuts.
They do. They fly. They leap from the mangrove swamps towards the groin area.
Yeah, quite scary.
Wait, Jack, where is it? Where's this thing getting wrangled?
Missouri, the roads of Missouri.
Is it another police officer? Like it's like his rival or something, trying to get promotion, so he just gets him.
Yeah.
That's
That's what police officer.
That's what you do to get a promotion in the police force. You attack your fellow officers.
It's a dog eat dog world. Got to do
It is.
Do.
It's
I fully
a
understand.
pig eat pig world.
Is it ostrich?
Yes, it is ostrich.
Hell yeah.
Well done. How did you know that?
I honestly don't know.
Nice.
The sheer guess.
God.
You're right.
Yeah.
It is an ostrich. Well done.
How would it fit in?
Police in Missouri said officers responded to an unusual situation when an ostrich escaped from its owner's home.
Is it in a bird cage, like in the kitchen? It's like a massive cage.
Where you had like budgies. It's just a massive like human-sized cage with an ostrich in it.
No, it's a budgie-sized cage, and its legs are just like scraping against the floor.
Oh, shit, it's eating the dog again.
Yeah, that famous thing that ostriches do, eat dogs. The carnivorous ostrich. The police did not reveal how Clyde managed to escape or how long he was on the loose. That's quite vague and nebulous, isn't it? A bit sinister, that.
Anything could have happened.
Clyde
Why
the
are they
ostrich.
like releasing stuff? Was it some sort of like criminal?
Criminal ostrich escaping.
So that's Clyde the ostrich. That's the story of Clyde the ostrich. That's our second headliner of the
Is
week.
his name Clyde?
Clyde, yeah.
Oh wow.
That's amazing.
Our third headliner. Woman fined after walking blank on a lead and telling police he was a dog.
Man in gimp suit.
Is it
Oh
man?
my god.
I want it to be a man. I want it to be a man in a gimp suit or a man in a fursuit.
What was the question?
Woman fined after walking blank on a lead and telling police he was a dog.
Cat.
Yeah, I don't really know.
Yeah, was it just was it a furry?
You're very close. The answer is husband.
Oh my god.
Was the husband a furry?
Is he a bad boy?
A woman in Canada has been fined for breaking a COVID curfew by walking her husband on a lead. When stopped by police, she claimed that her partner was in fact a dog, according to local media.
Because so in Quebec, people have to stay indoors between 8 p.m. and 5 a.m. to try and halt the spread of coronavirus. But dog walkers are allowed to be outside during this time, in an exception to the rules.
What? It's like having a curfew in the middle of a riot. Like, oh no, like, if you've got a dog, you can go out. So you're walking through the burning streets, but it's fine because you've got a dog.
Well, it's not quite similar, no, because there's no risk of having like a bin thrown at you if you're going out in the middle of the COVID pandemic.
Have you ever had a bin thrown at you?
Yes.
What do you mean, yes? When?
Well, it's not a bin as in like those wheelie bins that you put outside, but it's a bin as in like
It's a skip.
but a bin as in like those almost like one of those like wicker baskets that people have in their like rooms, just
That's
as
not
kind
a
of
bin,
like
it's a
a
basket.
paper bin.
Yeah, don't bait
No, no,
us.
no,
You and I
It's
have different
used as
definitions of
bin.
what a
It's
bin
not
is.
Yeah.
You just
basket.
described it as
It's
a wicker
not a basket. Yeah, but it's a wicker basket that's used as a bin.
Yeah, but you can use anything as a bin if you like squint and imagine.
Anything's a bin if you
What?
try hard.
Well, no, because if you put your rubbish in there, then it's a bin.
I put rubbish in my pocket. My pocket's not
Yeah.
bin.
Is that where you store all of
Is
your
that-
rubbish,
yeah,
George?
I was gonna say, is that where the end place of your rubbish goes?
Yeah.
Leftover dinner, like spewing out.
Yeah. Extras for later.
Oh, the stench.
That's the answer. So she decided, this wife and husband, they thought, well, maybe we don't have a dog, but everyone else is going outside. You know, Sandra down the road, she's got, you know, a Pomeranian, she's allowed to take that out. I want to go outside. I want to go breathe the fresh air after 8 p.m. Come on, what is this? With prison? We're going out.
We're going dogging.
Honey, I think we should go dogging. And he's got a whole different idea in his head. And he's like, yeah. Turns out actually it's just role playing a dog.
I need to see a photo of this.
I don't know if there is one. I haven't seen one, and I don't think anyone was like, you know, let's take a picture of that woman walking her husband, because I bet they probably thought it was some weird intimate thing that they wanted to stay away from. I'd run the opposite direction if I saw that going on,
Probably like kick it and flee, I think.
because that it does imply that they're going somewhere and something's going to happen there that you do not want to witness.
Yeah, what are they doing? Like, I don't understand why they can't just go out between 5 a.m. and 8 p.m. Why can they not just wait till the next day to go out normally?
No, that's the magic hour.
They must be desperate for some dogging.
I was going to say, I don't know why I'm wanting to defend these lunatics, but maybe they have a, you know, not just a 9 to 5, but a 5 till 8 job. Maybe they can't go out in the day because they're working.
They're doing the night shift.
Yeah, exactly, George. Didn't think of that one, did you?
Yeah,
Wait,
well, why is he on his hands and knees then? Is that his job?
He likes it.
Surely there must have been other. They could have literally done. They could have just made like a paper mache dog, and I'm sure no one would have thought otherwise. But they had to like get the husband and get him on his hands and knees. That poor man. Unless he liked it, in which case,
He pulls.
knock yourself
Yeah,
out.
have you seen those people that like make loads of money through like things like OnlyFans just by pretending to be a dog?
Yeah, that makes me really.
I find it really uncomfortable. Just like watching watching these women like walking around on all fours pretending to be a dog.
Is that all the content is? There's nothing actual sexual about it. They just dress up as a dog, walk around, be a dog.
How do you know this, Brandon?
Because I've seen meme accounts like on Instagram
Okay.
post about it.
Done a lot of research into that.
No questions asked, Brandon. No questions asked. I wonder if there's any market for this man to get involved in that business.
Do you reckon he has to be in like a harness, otherwise he pulls too much, or like a little muzzle or something?
Casey bites.
Yeah.
Yeah, he bites, step back.
And like if they see another dog walker and it's a female dog, and he gets like a little excited.
Which just runs over, it's like a humping an Alsatian.
So
Yeah, what happens if he's in season?
That would be a terrible idea.
disturbing.
That would be a-
Bestiality is illegal. Wait, is bestiality illegal in Canada?
Absolutely, it is. They are quite
Absolutely.
liberal. They are quite liberal in Canada, but I don't think that liberal.
Do you think like she like gets to the park and like throws a stick for him, or like a ball or something?
Yeah, I'm intrigued to know how far does the dog role play go.
Do you reckon it like continues at home and he like eats out of a dog bowl and sleeps under the stairs?
Bestiality was only made illegal in Canada in 2016. That seems a bit too soon.
In 2016, that's a really, really recent time to draw the line, isn't it?
What do you think made them draw the line? Do you think that's like a really horrible... We shouldn't be talking about this.
Once again, hi Lydia. Hope you're enjoying the show. Well, that does it for headliners. If you do have any headliners for us, tweet us at Cloud5Cast using the hashtag Cloud5, or email us at cloud5cast@gmail.com. We have an email. We have all of these wonderful things set up, so don't hesitate to get in touch. Who else heard the sonic boom?
No.
I was so disappointed because everyone was like, "Oh, have you heard this sonic boom?" And I was like, "No."
Well, I have to say, it wasn't really like an event. It wasn't like everyone was like, "Whoa, that's so cool," and we all gathered outside and drank Pims or whatever. It was all like, it just happened, and everyone was like, "Oh," most people thought it was like a neighbor slamming a door or something. That's what I thought.
It was all the news on Facebook.
Yeah, I'm
It was
sure.
great. 66 comments at one point.
Wow, that's
Whoa.
truly how to handle fame.
A couple of years ago, I had an experience kind of like it. It was like a really hot summer's day, and we borrowed a neighbour's wheelbarrow because we're cool.
I thought you were going to say wheelchair for a second.
No, my parents were doing gardening, so they borrowed a wheelbarrow. And I was sat in my room, and there was a huge explosion or bang of something outside. Like, it made a car alarm go off. It was that loud. And everyone was running around like, what the hell? Like, oh my God. Turns out the wheelbarrow, like it was so hot that it made the tyre like overinflate because like air expanding and it exploded.
Oh my God.
It was so amusing because we had to wheel back this like limp wheelbarrow to its owner. Like,
Still
sorry,
smoking.
it exploded.
Do you reckon that happens to like wheelchairs? Like, imagine just like, all right, yeah, I'll wheel to the shop. I'll leave you outside, whilst I go in because I can't be bothered to push you around. I've got the trolley as well, and then like you just sat outside in the sun, and then he just blows up. Like, how can you combat that? I need to know.
Yeah,
Not the wheelchair, but the person on the wheelchair.
It's combust.
No,
Yeah.
no. I mean, like they could like get flown into the road or something.
Yeah, get blasted into like I don't know.
That'd be a headline. Like elderly woman blasted into road, immediately run over.
Yes, indeed. This sonic boom has nothing to do with a blue hedgehog, but rather two RAF planes dispatched to help a civilian aircraft that had lost communications. While a disaster was averted in the air, down here on the ground, my dog leapt several feet into the air and pissed all over the kitchen floor. Yeah, we thought we got past that phase, but no. Jet engines flying overhead. It did sound like a bomb, but it was a sonic boom. Everyone was raving about it. I thought nothing of it until actually I thought it was like a neighbour slamming a door because we had a neighbour working on their patio or whatever. No, and then later on I saw on a friend's story, there's like, did anyone else hear that big bang? And I was like, you live a long way away from me. How heavily did he place down that patio?
It was heard between. It was heard in places like Coventry and London down to like Bury St Edmunds, that area.
Wow.
So that's like a long distance. It was heard. Like sonic booms are very loud.
This week in Weird, we learned of a special SAS unit that has been trained to tackle so-called alternative threats, that is, aliens. In 2018, it emerged that British defence experts had spent 50 years trying to catch a UFO so they could use the technology to build new superweapons. Whether you believe there's life out there or not, we can rest peacefully in the knowledge that if they ever come down to Earth, the SAS wouldn't hesitate to shoot ET in the face. Now, I did want to discuss this, actually, because this was something that that I was thinking about a lot. Do you guys think that there's life out there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there's no doubt about it.
I think you'd be a fool to think not.
Well, right, think about it. There are like so many planets in our galaxy, and there are
so many galaxies as well. So.
There are so many galaxies there has to be planets in the sort of the Goldilocks zone, like we are, with water that's able to support life. Whether that life is as intelligent as Earth's life, I don't know. It might just be microbes, but you never know. Do you know what I think, though? If there are aliens and they do decide, like, oh, we've detected these radio signals from Earth, we've intercepted a craft or like a satellite, we're going to go visit this planet. I think it is so stupid. If they have the technology to come visit us shooting them down could possibly give us an entire, probably more advanced, like, race. Give that race a reason to test us.
About 20 troopers now have been trained, ready to tackle quote-unquote alternative threats. The elite soldiers are trained to use non-lethal weapons against a variety of potential threats, including aliens. Do you think this is a bit of a waste of time?
Yes.
Do you think that like that's a lot of money and resources being poured into the special training to fight aliens?
Yeah.
I mean, how can you train to
Like,
fight
they can't even afford,
aliens?
like proper like school meals. Like we're like trained to shoot down at UFOs. Like,
Yeah,
come on.
imagine spending money on like fighting aliens, but not on like climate change and like feeding
not
hungry
on
children.
not on the hungry people of our Earth.
It is quite like sci-fi actually, because it says they actually that includes anything from terrorists to human bioweapons, where someone's been deliberately infected with a deadly bug, all the way through to an alien life form. I know it sounds bonkers, says the source, but the SAS train for capture missions for every threat. They can use a range of non-lethal weapons, one of which, this is so sci-fi, involves spraying foam, which covers a target and hardens rapidly, preventing them from moving.
Actually, they could use that as like a non-lethal in like
freeze stuff.
I want a freeze ray. On the subject of space, a restaurant in Britain attempted to use weather balloons to send a samosa to space.
Didn't it crash? Didn't it crash land in France?
That is exactly right. The food item ended up crash landing in France, of all places.
dude,
Yeah,
there's
God.
just a samosa floats down.
I'd love to know what the reasoning was. Why did they think, do you know what needs to go? Do you know what we need to put up there? We've had man, we've had monkeys, we've had dogs. I know what we need up there. A single samosa.
These aliens have got to eat something, sure.
Well, you know Tom Scott, the popular YouTuber.
Yes.
No.
He's used a weather balloon to send a loaf of garlic bread into space, and then it fell back down, and he ate it.
Did it taste better?
Was it crisp?
Yeah.
It was slightly frozen on the inside because obviously
that's whack.
in space, like it is they're cold.
It's no excuse for bad food.
I was
But,
saying, on coming back to the planet, wouldn't it cook?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was on the outside.
Was
It
it
was
black
more-
on the outside?
more- No, because basically the way they did it was like a special box. So when the weather balloon burst, it closed the box.
No, but surely it because of its like weight, it'd like reach a terminal velocity, and it's like not light enough probably to even burn up if it's just like a little baguette.
Yeah.
Well, we were going to do something like that with George. Do you remember, like year 7? I don't know.
Oh, I can't. Yeah.
Yeah, with we're at school. They did this extra science project thing where we had to get I think we were going to send a camera or something, not something as frivolous as a roll of garlic bread or a samosa. We're going to send a jar of Boona up there. Do you know what I mean?
I remember once on one of my buses on the way home from school years ago, there was a kid on the bus who thought it'd be a fun idea to throw a pair of scissors out the bus. It hit a cyclist. It was literally the school got really bad complaint. Everyone was like it was horrible. Literally just watching these scissors fly out and whack into a cyclist.
I'd complain if I got a pair of scissors in my shoulder while I was out for my morning bike ride. I'd probably be like, I'd probably want a little bit of compensation for that. Don't you think? From my severed artery.
Very, very early on into my time at secondary school, because I used to get public buses. I remember one of the most funniest experiences. The double-decker bus was driving along, and there was just this guy at the side of the road holding a bus window. And the bus stopped, and he was like, "Is this yours?" And basically, it turns out a girl on the bus before us leaned against the window, and the window fell off, and she almost fell. Like she was on the top
fell out.
Yeah, it just slipped out, and she almost fell into the road. It was actually quite scary for her.
What have they made the bus out of?
Jeez.
Cardboard.
Jeez.
What's going
Jeez,
on?
cardboard.
At what point are you able to lean against a window and it falls out? That's like something out of like a cartoon.
It was, but honestly, it's nothing funnier than just seeing a guy at the side of the road holding a window.
Excuse me, drop your window.
Is this yours?
Yes, indeed. A restaurant sent a samosa to space. Whether this restaurant was attempting to feed the aliens or simply using some convoluted method of smuggling food into the EU post-Brexit, one doubts whether the flavour of the samosa would be somewhat compromised after being exposed to the extreme conditions of the upper atmosphere and the vacuum of space.
Yummy.
Yeah, just don't do it. It's a waste of money and time.
Yeah, a
that's
kid in
our-
Africa could have eaten that. Imagine if it landed in Africa.
That would be quite a miracle. Although I'm not sure how they'd feel. They wouldn't know what to do. It's not like a donation. Yeah, it just lands in the middle of like the Sahara.
I love your use of just in Africa, anywhere in Africa.
Anyway, it's all the same.
You know the phrase, like, think of like the kids in Africa, like when someone wastes food or water.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of obsolete now because most countries in Africa actually have access to like food and water. Like a lot of charities have actually done very good work, and like I think now it's a lot harder to say like I'll think about the kids in Africa because most of them do have better access to like good drinking water and food.
Yeah, so that's what we've got to say. Think about the UK lorry drivers going into the Netherlands.
Yeah,
I'm not their
eat your
ham
ham
sandwiches.
because
Oh, he's
hell, he
hungry.
hasn't got
What are you
one.
going to do about it?
Yeah, eat your bloody sandwich because Nigel is in his car, is in his lorry.
Sobbing. He's sobbing his eyes out.
Yeah. Well, that's that, I suppose.
The memories of primary school. I remember I have this really good lunchtime memory when I was a kid, sitting opposite me, and he thought, was it me? I think it was me. I thought it'd be a good idea to like squeeze his yogurt, it exploded and went in his eye. And I just remember watching him with yogurt in his eye, just screaming. Oh, it's beautiful.
Jack, we had a similar experience when a girl decided to squeeze a yogurt and it landed on my head.
Yeah, all in your hair.
Yeah.
It was so great.
It was
That was
great.
hilarious.
It
It
was-
was that didn't get affected at all.
At least my hair smelled nice for the rest of the day.
It was and
Oh.
I bet
Soured milk.
I bet the texture
Old
was
milk. It was like strawberry, but it was too mixed with old milk, and it was just disgusting.
awful. That's so bad. I have I told you about the time where I was in primary school and it was raining outside, pouring with rain, and we were allowed to eat indoors. And it was quite a big thing. And we were eating in the class. I know, really quite radical. And we were eating in the classroom, and our year 3 and 4 teacher was terrifying. Let's say we were all petrified of her. And one of my mates thought it was a really good idea to take my freebie out of my lunchbox and run across to the other end of the room and lob it as hard as he could at my head. And I dodged, and it hit the glass door and just exploded. It just burst. There was a sunburst of yogurt across the glass door.
Beautiful.
And we just all stared at it for a moment and we thought, we're dead. There we are. That's it. We're dead. So don't do that, people. If you've got a froob, either eat it or put it in the bin because your mates will steal it and cover you or your surroundings in it. Or send it to space because, that's what we need to be doing with our time. Still to come, we look at our Florida Man of the Week because Florida is just a goldmine of absolute loonies.
Beautiful.
We have a little bonus headliner. We delve into Science Corner for Luke Potter to give us some more intellectual discussion, and we'll close out with our weekly round of factoids, our little game where we have to guess which fact is not true out of the 3, and it leads to some fun discussions. Florida never fails to disappoint, and taking this week's title of Florida Man of the Week, a man's radical redecoration plans backfire massively. Brandon, you found this news article, didn't you? And
Yeah.
It seems to be. I thought this meme was dead. That the Florida Man meme. For those who are unaware, if you type in Florida Man on Google and then your birthday, it's very fun to look at the news stories that pop up about the loonies that have been convicted or discovered doing crazy antics. But this week, Brandon has discovered another Florida Man, and in fact there are so many that we think we've decided to turn it into a weekly segment. So what have we got this week, Brandon?
So this week, Florida Man, I mean, it's been a little bit slow because Florida Man is mostly taken up with Via Getty, the genius man who was arrested during the Capitol raid. But I did find one Florida Man that wasn't a horrific news article. Florida Man sets himself on fire while trying to ignite his own house. And it is the most beautiful picture. Like I wish we could show you the picture. Like he is so distraught. Like his face.
He looks like a scrotum.
He does look like a scrotum.
Oh, he does. He looks like a heel of an old person's foot. and it's like slowly wrinkling away.
Yeah. Why? So what I love the lack of context with this story is that we don't actually know why on earth he thought he thought it was a good idea to burn down his house while he was still in it.
His name is Scott Anthony Massa, and he's 51.
Did
and
he die
apparently
then?
No, he's alive.
Yeah.
He apparently just took a bucket of accelerant and attempted to torch his Tampa Bay home at about 5:40 a.m. And he tried to toss the bucket through a broken window. He caught on fire and fled the scene. And he was arrested at a hospital seeking treatment for his burns. And
what an idiot!
The article is so short. It's by a guy called Kenneth Garger, and it is only like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sort of short sentences of just like
man burns house down by dousing himself in accelerant. Nobody knows why he did it. There you are. Have that.
America really never fails to deliver, does it?
No, I find it so funny in that Britain is twice the size of Florida, and yet Florida just has this insane output of amazing news.
Sure.
I was saying earlier, Florida is kind of like a larger version of Blackpool, where it's just kind of crap. Everyone seems to live there, but it is just kind of bad. Like,
I mean, Blackpool Beach and Miami Beach,
So similar.
Yeah, so true, yeah.
I bet everyone who goes to Blackpool Pier thinks, do you know what? This is the spit of Miami right now.
why? This is a genuine question. Why did they call one of the beaches at Blackpool Pleasure Beach?
Because everyone loves
the beach
it.
of pleasure. It's a nude beach.
Because people have fun there.
Is it actually a nudist beach?
I doubt
No.
it.
I've been to a nudist beach.
How was it?
You sound proud. I'm glad.
I am. Well, I'm more proud.
Change you.
I'm more proud of the name of it. Mentioning the names of nudist beaches. I feel like Pleasure Beach, somewhat too on the nose. We went to a place, and you'd never guess what the function of this beach was, but the beach was called Wild Pear Beach.
Like,
And I tell you, we saw some wild pears.
Oh,
Oh
no.
my god.
Yeah, wild pears all over the shop, mate. All over.
I bet there are plenty of saggy pears.
Yeah, I was going to say, it is only the elderly.
Yeah, yeah, I've noticed that.
Like, do you reach like a part of life where you just want to strip?
I feel like maybe when you're in your retirement, you've cast off the burden of a job. Maybe you might also want to cast off the burden of clothing.
Cast off your robes. Yeah.
Cast off your robes. These cumbersome robes.
I mean, it's one of them things. Say you're 80 years old, you're on holiday. I mean, death is soon. What have you got to lose, really? You might as well let it fly.
You might as well unsheath the schlong.
The only thing you've got to lose are your pants.
Yeah.
Well, there you
I
are.
like it.
Wow.
That's Wild Pear Beach. Yeah, my granddad got in on the action.
Oh no.
Nice one.
He said to my mum and my grandma, he was like, I think I'm going for a swim. And they were like, you don't have he said, I think I'm going in the sea. And you're like, well, you didn't bring your swim trunks, Granddad. And he was like, I don't need them. This is Wild Pear Beach after all. And so he waded into the freezing cold, overcast skied Devon Sea, wearing nothing but his straw hat.
The thing is, though, the UK's coastline, the UK's sea, it is disgusting. Like,
Is it?
Do you get what I mean? Like, you go down to the beach.
Cornwall.
Well, Cornwall's okay,
Yeah,
but you go down to the
Cornwall's
beach,
lovely.
like you go to like Clacton, and you just walk and you look at the sea, and it is just like a shade of just murky brown.
Yeah, it's
And
like I remember when I was young, I got some like goggles from like abroad or a swimming pool or something. I was like, you know what? Oh, we go to the beach here, and I'm gonna get my goggles out. So I went down to the sea. I put my goggles on, and it's just shit. There's just poo everywhere. It's just horrible. It's like it's like dirty, but at like a tinge of yellow thrown in. Of just
Do you
like
like
little
it?
kids weeing.
That
And you know the foam, like when there's like a little bit of choppy weather, and then just the sea produces this like beige foam that just like never goes away. It just appears.
Yeah, and it clogs up the beach. I know that when it washes loads of algae onto the beach, and I tell you what, I have never smelt anything so rancid in my entire life. The smell of algae being washed up onto the beach. I was we were in Scotland actually. We were we were near Inverness, and we were walking along the beach to this place, this godforsaken place, and there was an absolute mountain of algae and seaweed and all of that had been washed up on this beach, and it was like walking past a landfill. It was horrible.
Oh. What sort of smell was it? Was it like fishy or
Dreadful.
the dump?
Dude, I don't know. It killed my nasal tissues. I couldn't tell you what. I can't identify the scent. It's just bad. Just awful is what it was. Death. The smell of death.
I'm very fond of the Norfolk coastline. I've hiked it a lot. And I went hiking a couple of years back along the coastline. And it was in like sort of Easter. So it wasn't like freezing, but it wasn't like boiling. It was like sort of spring weather. And I remember walking along, and no one's really there. It's a rocky beach, so it's just like fishermen. And I spot something in the distance. I'm like, oh my god, it's a seal! Like I've never seen a seal this close before. And I run up to it, and it's not moving. And I'm like, oh my god, I'm going to get to see a seal really close. And as I get to it, its like chest cavity is gone. Like it's just a rotting seal, and the stench was horrible. Like I wasn't really little. I was still excited because I'm like, oh, cool, seal, they're cute. Not this one. It didn't have eyes. Like it was just dead, and I was just like, oh, great.
Would ruin seals. A poor little innocent Brandon. Wow, I've never seen a seal before. Go skipping up to it, and you roll it over, and it's like missing a face. There's like flies everywhere.
I guess you could say it sealed its fate. Well, hey!
Oh, Joe!
Hey, got him!
Wow!
Got him!
I feel like that's a place where we should kick
I had
him
to
out.
do it to
With that joke, Joe, you have tanked all potential of this podcast being successful.
Yeah,
There you are.
I've made my mark.
Yeah,
Baby.
that is the best we're gonna get, ladies and gentlemen. He
Yeah.
sealed his fate.
Yeah,
Wow.
stay tuned for more.
Stay tuned. I've got more. I've got more.
Has anyone else heard? Has anyone else heard about Armie Hammer?
You are.
No.
He's a Hollywood actor known for the films like The Social Network and The Lone Ranger and Call Me by Your Name, who seems, for all intents and purposes, to be a cannibal fantasist.
Oh,
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
There's been a few rumours here and there of some explicit messages sent to people, and we're saying he wants to eat them and whatever. And
Excuse me, I would like to eat you.
yeah,
Are they the
excuse me.
contents of the messages?
Don't mean to trouble you, madam, but I would love to consume you. Well, his ex-girlfriend has weighed in, saying that the actor wanted to break her rib, barbecue, and eat it.
Wow.
What's your take on this?
I mean, if that's what he wants to eat, then can you blame him?
Can you blame him? That's
Bit of a long pig. Never hurt anyone.
I've read this article. Basically, this guy lost. Like he was in like a motorcycle accident, and his foot had to be amputated. And he said to the doctors, like, "Can I have it?" And they were like, "Sure, I guess. Like you're alive."
Imagine
Like,
receiving that. Can I have this for my own purposes?
So he got this foot. Like, his foot was amputated, but it was like fine, basically. So he called up his friend, who happened to be a professional chef.
No, I've heard this story.
Yeah, and basically he ended up having a dinner party where they prepared his foot, and like a group of him and his friends all decided to eat human. But the problem is though, if you're gonna eat any part of human, the foot is probably the worst thing because
It's just
meat.
sinew, isn't it? It's just
You
muscle.
might get a little bit of crunchy if you're lucky, like a bit of toenail in there.
Oh God!
Oh, I found a website. 7 surprising facts about cannibalism. My search history is going to be great. And specifically, eating the brain of another human can cause kuru, a brain disease that's similar to mad cow disease. Kuru occurs because our brains contain prions that transmit the disease. Symptoms begin with trembling and end in death.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just imagine, like, you start trembling and then you die.
I mean, Hannibal Lecter's gonna die.
The thing is, though, like, I want your take on this. Like, when it comes to other animals, would you eat certain, like, offal and, like, would you eat, like, a heart or a liver or, like, a brain of a pig?
If it's on a menu, then is there anything wrong with it?
Yeah, but not every restaurant in the world is going to be. I mean, it depends where you are. Depends where you are when you get that on the menu, doesn't it?
Like,
if you're in the middle of like,
yeah, like if we were Jack, like being in like rural India and seeing mutton or something weird, and I had that horrible egg drink.
oh god, oh not the
That
egg
was
drink.
worst drink.
I think that caused the stomach upset. Genuinely, I had only a sip, and I thought, wow, that's not because you ordered like a lemonade, and it was
Yeah,
not a
like,
lemonade.
They were like keep to like bottled or canned things. I was like, yeah, I'll just get a lemonade, and then it was like this weird, horrible, cloudy, eggy liquid. It was the worst thing.
It was so bad. It was so unbelievably terrible. Yeah, that's No, thank
Good
you. None of that.
times.
We had
Good
great times in
times.
India, but that was not one of them. A little bonus headliner for you because this has been this is another. It didn't quite fit in the main headliner section, but I thought I wanted to see what you guys thought of this and what your minds jumped to.
Yeah.
So the headline is this: Queen star Brian May launches £177 fragrance that smells of blank and blank.
Is it? Oh, I don't know.
Smells like queef.
Oh,
Oh, God!
Oh my, the first thing we go to.
Queef
The
and fuck.
Charging £177 for a fragrance that smells of queer. No, I'll give you a clue. The first word starts with an S, and the second word starts with a B. It is very unlikely you'll get it, but I just wanted to see
salmon and bees. I'd say
salmon and bees. That classic fragrance.
Yeah,
I understand
Oh,
salmon.
what do you mean?
I understand salmon, but I'm never like
branches.
out in a field and I'm like, oh, dude, there's bees. You can smell
You're
them.
missing out.
That's this unmistakable scent of
Yeah.
bees.
Ah,
Stand
yeah.
and body parts.
Would you like to know the answer?
No,
Yeah.
yeah. Wait.
Oh,
Uh,
googling it.
no.
If he gets this right.
Sex and bums.
Wow, thank you, George. That was worth the wait.
Wow.
That was worth the wait.
That's so far.
No, it's not socks and bums. No, no, it's actually sandalwood and badger.
So I was close.
Badger.
Yeah.
Badger.
Badger's
Why?
basically a bee, though.
£177.
Captured. How has he captured the scent of a badger? Well, I want to know.
Blend them up.
He's kidnapped
Well,
it.
you know badgers when they like get hit by a car and they sit there on the side of the road like inflating with their own gases.
Yeah, they're not doing anything, are they? They just get them up, pick them up,
Yeah, just
blend
losers.
it, put it in a bottle. There you are.
Oh, I remember
Yeah.
me and my dad used to survey this one badger that used to be on the way to my primary school because it got hit by a car and it was just lying there at the side of this road. And every day he took me to school, we'd survey it. And then one day it was all deflated and apparently a lorry ran it over and it exploded.
Oh my.
What do you mean? What do you mean survey? Do you go up and ask it questions? What's your political affiliation?
We need another questionnaire from you, I'm afraid.
It's just on the floor rotting.
We'd slow down and we'd like make sure has it gotten bigger? Has anything fallen off?
Yeah. Oh.
You know, just
oh.
normal
Did you give
child.
it a name? Did you give it a name?
No. Like it's
You should have
dead.
given it a name.
Dead.
You should have named it. Oh look, Barry the Badger's lost an eye because it's
Yeah.
burst.
Nigel.
Yeah. Well, I just thought that was a fun little story about Brian May. £177 for a fragrance that smells of sandalwood and badger.
Find something cheaper that smells of badger that isn't a badger. All right.
Or just don't smell like badger. Who is sitting here in the middle of a pandemic that's a lockdown that's lasted nearly a year? Who's thinking, do you know what we really need right now? I'm going on a date with the wife to spice up the life a little bit. Maybe having an indoor thing. I want to dress up. Want to put some perfume on. But get a little sexy. Do you know what I need? Badger. The scent of badger. Nothing gets a woman in the mood quite like the scent of badger. Essence of badger.
Well, a lot of people are locked down, and so I feel like a lot of people now are thinking, you know what? It doesn't matter if I smell like badger.
I just want to feel things.
But let's
Exactly.
I mean, like, if you're trying to attract girls, they could be like, "Oh, I've never smelled that before. I wonder what that smell is."
Badger.
Badger.
I can't
right.
imagine a
See you
badger
later.
smells very nice.
I'm gonna say
You never know.
it doesn't work.
You
as
never
well.
know.
You won't know
It
until
rubs
you've
in.
tried it.
Yeah.
It does need a little context, this, because so it doesn't make it look like Brian May is just a mental case. The badger actually is related to the theme of what he's doing it for and why it's so expensive. It's in order to like raise awareness and raise money for protection of badgers, because obviously there's been a lot of issues with badger culling and all of that stuff. So they're trying to badger protection program, and the way you can help is spending nearly 200 quid to smell like a fucking badger.
Well,
I
It's
like it.
definitely some like rich dude who's like,
I think it's worth it.
yes.
Yeah, I
Is it-
think it's worthwhile.
Do you know what though? I would happily donate that much money without having to smell like a badger.
No,
Exactly.
it's not a
me too.
bonus though. Just
It's not a
losing out.
bonus. It's not a bonus. It's a punishment.
It might smell nice.
It's a deterrent.
Be a good gift.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, here you are, love.
Freak someone out.
Couldn't figure out what to get you for Christmas, so I've splashed out a bit. 200 quid. Now you get to smell like a badger.
200 quid perfume. Oh wow, what does it smell of? Yeah, badger.
Badger, and she's like, "What the hell is wrong with you? I don't want to smell like badger." And you go, badger and sandalwood.
All the difference.
Well, sandalwood. That's fine.
Do we need
That's
sandalwood? Can we
brilliant,
just have
thank
badger?
Pure badger.
Pure badger.
Pure
Oh,
badger.
yeah.
Wow,
It's
brilliant.
really off topic. Like completely off topic. But I've just discovered
Yeah.
something I think needs to be recognised. It is Wikipedia's 20th birthday.
It is. I saw that earlier. Happy birthday, Wikipedia.
Not enough recognition for that, Brandon. So thank you for raising that.
Yeah, I was gonna say Wikipedia has helped me like survive so many essays on like history, even though I don't do history anymore. But literally the amount of things I wrote just by using Wikipedia, I think it needs to be recognised more.
Just copy and pasted, yeah. Wikipedia has actually like vicariously sat thousands of exams in this country.
Yeah, it's had over 1 billion edits. You know what? Well, happy birthday, Wikipedia.
Happy birthday,
Yeah.
Wikipedia.
But then it's
Um,
mostly me when I'm in an argument with someone and I know I'm wrong, but I can't afford to lose face. So I just edit it. My honour's at stake.
I have got it out as a tool to be like, haha, I am right. But I've never actually edited it to bend
Oh, you're
its
missing
will.
out. I know the
So-
power that comes.
Well, I'm sure all three people still listening to the podcast are delighted to hear that it's Wikipedia's 20th birthday today. Now, for a more erudite experience, our regular scientific segment presented by our very own Luke Potter, Lord of the Science Corner. In the lead up to today's podcast, Luke has been absolutely apoplectic with intellectual information. What do you have for us today,
Wow,
Luke?
nice word.
Thank you.
No,
I'm doing a lot of alliteration.
Alliteration, yeah.
Thank you.
Big word.
It is a big word. Apoplectic means fit to
Apple.
burst, I think.
Sure it does.
Oh, I'm fit to burst.
Oh my god.
So is
I've
that
really
badger
burst.
you found,
Yeah.
Deflated.
and
Oh
that's
my
and that seal.
Oh, the seal had its like insides gouged out. That's science. That should be in the science corner. Luke, why do seals have their things gouged out?
What do you mean? Because things are eating them. So today I have I was gonna actually save like a topic like this for when it's nearer Halloween if this continues, but I couldn't wait. This is
Wow.
really, really cool. It's kind of like Frankenstein organisms. So organisms that make zombies out of their hosts or out of their prey.
Do it with humans.
You can't do it with humans, but I'll get onto that. There is a little bit of kind of scientific dispute
Ooh.
within certain biologists about the effects, like the neural effects of certain parasites. But I'm going to be talking about 4 or 5 or 3, somewhere within that range.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to be talking about a
Numbers.
few organisms today. The first of which is called a jewel wasp. Now, jewel wasps are really sick. Jewel wasps are like these kind of wasps that live in Asia and Africa and some other places in some more specific
Coventry.
countries. I just haven't been bothered to see which countries those are.
Coventry.
Coventry.
Not quite. And they're kind of like metallic blue greeny kind of color, and they're a type of what is called an entomophagus parasite.
Heard that one before.
Right.
Yeah,
What does it mean to be an entomophagus parasite?
this is what I wondered. So I googled it and I found absolutely nothing. But what I did get from Wikipedia was that it directed me to this site called parasitoids.
Right.
So these are a
Right.
group of parasites which kill their host.
Okay.
Nice.
Surely that defeats the
obviously-
purpose of being a parasite. If you feed off a creature and then go, oh right, well, now time to die.
Well,
I mean,
you would think
if you're
that, wouldn't
feeding off
you?
of something, like, wouldn't it eventually run out of energy because like you're like causing it so much?
Yeah,
Like,
guys,
sort of
I get to be a
strain?
real drain on resources. Hey, got him again. I'm on a roll, baby.
What's-
Got
That
him.
was not even a pun. It wasn't even
Got
anything.
him.
Oh my God.
Can't take it away from me.
Um,
Got him. Got him.
Oh, that's getting cut out in the
Right.
edit.
Yeah.
No, you can't
Well-
cut me out, baby.
Okay. Well, basically, these parasitoids, they use their host in a certain stage in their life, and then they leave their host once they're dead, and then they just continue on their life. So it'll be only a specific section. So this jewel wasp uses their host for birth. So a female wasp and a male wasp will have a special kind of hug, and
What does that mean, Luke?
the eggs will become fertilized. I'm
What's
not
that?
going into it anymore.
Can you explain it to me? I don't get
Luke,
it.
what goes on there?
I'm not explaining.
Do
On
it.
and on.
Otherwise, I won't understand,
Very
Luke.
much.
So we
Oh,
can
do you
talk
want me
about
to
queefs,
understand?
but not about wasps having sex.
Okay, yeah.
I don't understand, Luke. Can you
Luke, I
explain
need
it?
to know more, alright?
Yeah.
Please.
Okay, I'm not talking about the reproduction of
Details.
jewel wasps.
Pixar didn't happen.
And so this female is carrying fertilized eggs. Now, what she does is she goes over to cockroaches and she starts biting a cockroach's wing. So this cockroach starts thrashing about trying to get this jewel wasp off. And what this jewel wasp does next is it stings the cockroach twice. And
Not once, but twice.
yeah, see, scientists were like, "Wow, so it just stings it, doesn't it? It's obviously a venom." But it actually turns out to be really precise stings, and we'll get into that in a second. So this jewel wasp will sting the cockroach, and the cockroach kind of becomes paralyzed. And then the jewel wasp just kind of leaves it there and goes and digs a burrow, comes back, and it's not actually paralyzed in the sense of being paralyzed, you can't move. It's more of the fact that this
What other
cockroach-
kind of paralysed is there?
Well,
It's paralysed in the sense that you can move. You can run a marathon.
see. This is the thing. It's the cockroach isn't paralyzed, but it just doesn't want to run away. That
What?
brainwave that's
Spikes?
telling it
What?
this is danger. I want to run away now. It's just not working, and so it just kind of stays there. And it's like I'm okay where I am.
Oh, wow. It's like
Um,
mind control.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this jewel wasp comes back, and it almost uses its antennas. So the cockroach's antennas, it bites the antennas, and it almost uses it like a lead, like humans walk dogs on a lead. And it just kind of leads this cockroach over to this burrow that it's dug, and puts the cockroach in there, lays eggs, the fertilized eggs, on the underside of the cockroach's belly, because that's where the less protected exoskeleton is, and holds up the burrow and leaves it. And this is where the adult, matured jewel wasp, that's their job done. They go ahead with their life, keep eating, keep reproducing,
Yeah, can
do
retire
whatever.
then, yeah.
Yeah. And so
Put
these
the feet up
eggs.
for a bit.
Yeah,
Read a
exactly,
newspaper.
you know-
Read Abomination Weekly.
Yeah, you've laid loads of eggs, and now it's time to have a bit of a relax.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
It's like a botfly.
Everyone needs a
Yeah,
holiday.
exactly.
It'd be funny if mums did that. They just pop the baby out and go, there we are, job done. Get him a day on.
Actually, they don't.
Whack on Corey.
Yep. Yeah. You lay your baby
Yeah.
and then sellotape it to a dog and then go away and watch TV.
Leave it in the hands of just some random thing and walk
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like strap it to some homeless dude and walk off.
So these eggs hatch, and this cockroach is still alive.
Oh,
Right.
These
God.
eggs hatch, and these little larvae kind of crawl round the cockroach, and they start nibbling until they find a point where it is weak. and they kind of nibble through the skin. The cockroach is still alive until it just kind of nestles itself in the cockroach's abdomen, at which point it will create itself a pupa kind of thing, you know, like caterpillars into butterflies.
Yeah.
And so
Cocoon.
a cocoon, and so it will pupate inside this cockroach, and then it will
Yucky.
continue to develop, and then once it's matured, the pressure gets so high that this jewel wasp literally bursts out from the back of this cockroach, and the
God.
cockroach finally dies. This
Oh.
poor cockroach has been
It's
through so
horrible.
much. I know,
It's
and
horrible.
then it gets blown up from the inside.
Imagine surviving a nuclear explosion, then some random thing just lays an egg in you and runs off, and you
Yeah.
die.
The true horror of that is the fact that you don't just die. You carry the baby around for a long time before it viciously and painfully explodes out of your back.
Exactly. It's the incubation time and everything.
See, what makes me question why? Because obviously, you know, a lot of animals get by without having to inject their babies into other creatures and have the babies burst out and kill the creature. Why can't what benefit does the wasp gain from, you know, evolving in this way? It's like, oh, I get to fulfill my homicidal rage as well.
Yeah.
There's no competition between species. So inside the species there's competition between jewel wasps, but between other animals there's no competition for areas to lay their babies. And so it's really great.
There's competition between jewel wasps. Has a jewel wasp ever laid a jewel wasp inside a jewel wasp?
No.
Well, they could try that.
Can you prove that, Luke?
Yeah, Luke.
I can say with almost certainty, but without surveying every single jewel wasp that has ever lived, I cannot say with 100%
So you can't
certainty
say.
that a jewel wasp has laid its eggs on top of another jewel wasp before the larva to eat in and burst out of later.
Yeah. Do you reckon? What if they injected each other and it was like a mutual kill, and they were like, but it's all fine because the next generation will burst. Will burst
It's
from
a mutual kill.
Yeah.
What
The suicide
happens
pact.
if like they're into it and they're like, I want you to lay your babies in me? It's like one final
Yeah.
like
Pupating me now.
That's
I want them
honestly-
to burst from my orifices.
I want you
I
to
don't
grow
think
up
they have
inside
that
me.
cognitive ability.
Oh, that just sounds dodgy.
Oh, I want to father your children, and then those children explode out of me violently, killing me in the process.
Yes, great. Well,
That wouldn't quite go down as well in a nightclub, would it? That
No.
Yeah,
that
some
pickup
people
line.
really like it.
Yeah,
No.
that's the first thing you say. with your badger perfume on.
Yeah, so scientists looked at these stingers and the behavior when the jewel wasp actually stings the cockroach, and it found that these two precise stings happened actually in completely different areas of the body. So the first sting that the jewel wasp does stings it into the abdomen, and it goes to this thing called the walking rhythm generator.
Whoa.
So this is like a group of neurons. So these neurons basically get messages from the brain, and they tell the legs, now we're moving. This is the part where conventionally the cockroach will be classed as being paralyzed, but this only happens for about a second. The next sting, the next two main stings in this second almost cluster of stings that happens, is the most important. And so this jewel wasp, once it's stung this walking rhythm generator, it goes to the brain, and it basically penetrates the brain and stings two clusters of tissues. No one really knows what kind of tissues these are, but what we do know is that the venom basically just stops the roach from thinking this is a dangerous situation and wanting to walk away.
I
So,
love the idea of a cockroach with a stinger in its face going, nothing is wrong.
Exactly.
Everything is
It's
fine.
Fine. What?
I am
Danger here.
totally fine
As
here.
he's got like a stinger the size of a sword through his eye. He's like, nothing is wrong.
Yeah, and so it like unticks this box where it's like, I'm now in danger, I need to leave. And so this is basically why this cockroach doesn't go away. And so this jewel wasp makes this zombie out of this cockroach, leads it over, and it's just like, yep, now you're gonna burst out.
Good lord.
Which I thought was
Yucky.
crazy. I know.
It's
It's
hashtag
horrifying.
crazy.
It is.
It is. It is hashtag crazy, Joe. That is
Yeah.
completely correct.
It's scientific analysis. That's what we do here with Science Corner.
Yeah.
That's what it says in. That's what it says in the file.
Yeah,
The
you should
Wikipedia
write a
article.
thesis.
Classification hashtag crazy.
Yeah. I actually own
Crazy.
Wikipedia. so-
Thesis.
Classification weird bastard. That's what it says.
It's confirmed.
It's that. So wow. So that is truly.
Yeah.
It's truly horrible.
Truly science.
That is
Yeah,
science and a
really,
half.
truly science.
Can't even deny it's
And,
science.
And then, Brandon, you sent this thing into Science Corner, which was an absolutely horrific video of this praying mantis, like ejecting this worm in water.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it because I knew I'd throw up.
Yeah, it was
I
pretty
haven't watched
horrific.
it
But I
yet.
actually found this worm, this parasite.
Pretty
Where?
interesting,
Where was
isn't
it?
it?
What do you mean? Where'd you find it in your dinner?
No, it's controlling Luke right now.
Yeah.
Worm
Just down,
control.
There's
Yeah,
already worms on the way to each of our homes.
They're already in us.
We're on
I'll
the
just
way.
beat it up. I don't even care. I'm built different.
You will beat up this worm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is kind of like suicidal cricket. If you've seen those on the internet, these crickets that kind of get to the edge of the water and then just jump in and just kill themselves. And it's because these crickets eat, and obviously this praying mantis has either eaten a cricket with it in or eaten a larva of these things called Gordian worms.
Yeah.
That is a crazy name. That already sounds like pretty out there, I thought. But these worms require water to mate in. And so these worms will be eaten. These worm larvae, will be eaten by these crickets. They'll lodge themselves in the crickets, and then they'll mature in the intestine.
Oh god.
Yucky.
And then they release proteins which affect the brain, and so it basically makes this cricket absolutely crazy, and it produces really erratic behavior until this cricket jumps off of dry ground into this body of water. The worm realizes this, probably from a pressure change, and wriggles out of the anus.
Ugh, that's
Yep.
disgusting.
And honestly, it
Wow.
is the most horrifying sight ever. Because
I
they're
love
really
that.
long and thin, and they're black. and
They're
it's
black.
like,
Yeah,
oh
they're
my
like
God.
little like black. Like it looks like those things you get where you get like a toy from I don't know, Toys R Us or whatever, and it's got the black kind of tape holding it down onto the plastic.
Yeah. The weird.
They look like
black
that.
wire.
They are horrifying looking, and I can't watch the video. I don't want to see a worm coming out of a cricket's anus. But the I love the idea that they're like, surely there must be more efficient ways to mate than causing another creature to commit suicide. Like lands in the water and goes, "Oh, time for some mating." Just stay in there. Just stay in the
Because
water.
there's lots of predators in the water that are out to eat them, like different fish that would actually be able to digest them. These insects haven't evolved to digest them, and so they might as well just hitch a ride with the insects and also not worry about nutrients, because they'll just take the nutrients from their host and then
True. Eat the poo and it comes down the intestine.
yeah, they just live an easy life.
It's horrible.
It's right for them, isn't it?
It's disgusting.
They gotta do whatever they want.
Kind of jealous.
It's not
Yeah.
it's not just kind of merging on multicellular organisms that do this. Some really crazy fungus also do this.
Crazy.
Yeah, this one is more horrifying than the last, I think.
How can it be more horrifying than a worm burrowing out of your anus?
Well, this fungus, it's in the genus Strongwellacea.
Right.
I hope I've said that right. And these basically these two species in this genus, and they attack houseflies.
That's
So
good.
these
Brilliant.
fungal
Saves me doing it.
spores.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. These fungal spores will land on this fly, and then they'll almost do the equivalent of plants germination. So then they'll start making their roots,
Yucky.
their hyphae, all on this fly, and then they'll start digesting this fly in little holes on the abdomen. And what is terrifying is these fungus, the holes that they make, they produce spores from. So
Oh.
the spores will come from
No.
inside the fly outwards, and they're an orange color. And so it's like this fly is just kind of dusting, and this fly will stay alive until like it has digested all of the fly.
Wow. Oh, that's
And so-
horrible.
Yeah, and so this fly will go and mate with other flies and spread all these spores, and it's just kind of dusting everywhere, and it's like orange and
Why doesn't it
it's
just fly away?
horrific.
Surely, what I think the fungus is. I think the fungus is missing a trick. Why don't they do it to bees? Because the bee is then going to take you back to the entire. I'm not advocating the wiping out of bees. But I'm just saying. If I was a fungus and I wanted to get maximum effect, I wanted to spread my spores as far as possible. I'd get in a bee, go to the beehive, spread it to all the bees, and then there we are. I've got a whole bit. I've taken over the hive. Conquest has been
Because-
achieved.
Bees make honey, and honey is a universal antifungal.
Yeah.
I love honey.
But
Yeah.
the bees are protected from the zombie fungus.
Yeah, by the honey, it's like, yeah.
Brilliant. Well, that's what you got to do then. You got to just stay away from the zombie fungus. Coat yourself in honey.
Exactly. If there's ever a
It's the only
fungus
other
that
way.
affects humans, all we have to do is bathe in honey for the rest of our life.
Every fly you see, you just put honey on it. You know, just...
I feel like there is. You'd have to be very precise with the amount of honey you put on, otherwise you'll just drown it in honey. It will die a horrible death in there instead of being eaten.
Have you seen the videos like that? They're on TikTok a while ago of like these people eating like honeycomb, and basically like fresh honeycomb. They'd pick it up and it'd have honey dripping out of it, and they'd sit there dripping it into their mouth, and then you'd notice there'd be like a bee on it, and it's going there, and you just sit there like, how have they not noticed this?
I think you would notice a worker bee entering your mouth, surely.
What would you like to
Here's a
then?
genuine question, because like obviously I'm a big fan of food and cooking and stuff. I like to know like people's opinions on certain foods.
Do you know what? Yeah, Brandon. You know what? This feels like a really natural segue after talking about animals that eat other animals alive and come out their anuses. Do you know what we would talk about now? Food. Let's talk about
Meals, I
food now.
like meals.
Because it relates to insects.
Okay.
One researching and so with like food research, they're trying to find ways to cope with the growing population and the Earth's sort of need for proteins. And one way that they've worked out like proteins could be like sort of put back into circulation is via insects and bugs. So like they can be bred really easily, and like if you dry out a bug and then grind it up into a powder, that's a protein rich powder that you can put through like smoothies and stuff with no real flavor. It sounds disgusting.
That's bad.
Sounds grim. Not
But-
gonna lie.
Would you eat? Because like, it is very normal in quite a lot of cultures to eat like dried like maggots and stuff, and larvae
Scorpions and things.
and scorpions. Would you, if it was prepared like properly and it wasn't just like some like dodgy thing you found from a street vendor, if it was like properly prepared and like you knew it was safe, would you eat insects?
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I would. If I knew
Yeah.
it was if I knew it was safe and wasn't going to like make me make an insect like burst out my chest. Yeah.
No, because I don't like insects because they crawl around.
Well, they won't be crawling around if they're dead, will they?
I know, but you can never be sure. It could be faking.
That's fair.
You
It's
never
like,
trust them.
I would be less scared of it if it was lying dead on my plate.
No, even if the spider was dead, I wouldn't be able to go near it.
Well, it's different with spiders though. Spiders are they're pretty horrifying looking.
I
And
prefer
if-
spiders to
Yeah.
bugs.
If they just gave me like a spider goulash, I don't think I'd be into that.
like Eastern
Spider's
countries,
fear.
like Asian countries, actually eat tarantulas.
Yeah, that's. You see, actually, on reflection, there isn't much going on in terms of like meat on an insect, is there? Or an
You eat
arachnid, like a scorpion.
You eat like the exoskeleton and everything. Is
Yeah.
Why?
Because
But why though?
isn't the exoskeleton really like nutrient rich because it's made of chitin and
It'd be
has, like,
crunchy.
I bet it tastes of horror.
yeah, that's why like they put like maggots and other like insects that you would eat, like scorpions. They usually are prepared with very strong flavors to mask it. So when you eat it, you are genuinely just like eating something like the nutrients.
I feel like that defeats the purpose of the meal if you have to mask the taste of the meal with something else.
Right. You know, shark. So one sort of quote unquote delicacy that is very popular in like Asian countries that is incredibly cruel.
Dog.
Shark fin soup.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. Oh well, that's not just Asian countries. They eat that in Spain.
Yeah, well, all around. It originated in Asian countries, I believe. I might be
Right.
wrong, but that's what I've heard. Shark fin soup. However, when they like cut these fins off of sharks and just throw sharks back in, like it has no flavor. Like they have to add like things like chicken to give it flavor. Like the only reason they put these shark fins in is because they believe it has medicinal properties, and like might
Right.
also be because of the collagen is very good for your joints and stuff. I don't know, but that's what I'm thinking. Like, why? What is the point of being like very cruel to like animals like that? Like cutting off their fins and throwing them back in the ocean if you're just gonna like add chicken to give it flavor. Like I understand like the cultures obviously believe of like medicinal properties, like rhino tusks, they believe like medicinal as well. In, like,
Yeah,
certain
but they're just
countries.
like they're essentially just like attacking an animal, removing a
Yeah.
vital part of it, and then sticking it in a flavorless soup.
Yeah, that's what I don't understand. Because like I
Brilliant.
understand like the farming of like other animals for food, like cows and stuff. Like I understand that. I mean,
Well, it tastes of
obviously-
something.
yeah, and obviously like I prefer it to be like an ethical sort of source instead of
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like a load of cows trapped in a warehouse. But like I don't understand like the farming of like meats that have no real benefit. Like if they've got no flavour, like why do we eat them?
Yeah, it's a novelty,
That-
isn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah,
A novelty, isn't it? Eat everything. Everything that lives can be eaten. It's just like
Yeah.
that episode of Idiot Abroad where Carl Pilkington goes to China and they're literally there's just everything. It's like a fetus, a duck fetus. Why? It's not needed. It's not needed. Who in their right mind would go, do you know what?
Mm.
We haven't really. We've got scorpion. We've got maggot. We've got like I don't know, a duck,
Oh.
chicken foot. You know, this kind of thing. Weird things that nobody
Yeah.
in like Western countries wants to eat.
Wake up and be like, oh, you know what I fancy?
Yeah, I fancy a fetus.
An undeveloped duck.
You know what?
Yeah.
I'm always open to trying foods. Like I'm gonna travel around the world at some point in my life and try loads of different foods. But there are certain things I will refuse, and it's stuff like unborn animals and like
Yeah,
animals like
horrifying.
dogs. I would never, in my right mind, think to eat
Couldn't
a
eat a
dog.
dog.
And
Couldn't
I
do it.
understand it's people's traditions and cultures, but for me, I see dogs like not as just like livestock. I see them as like genuine, like
Personalities.
yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want it.
companions.
I couldn't eat a dog. I couldn't do it ever.
I could, because I don't like dogs. So out of spite, I managed to get one down, maybe. I wouldn't enjoy it, but I'd enjoy knowing that I managed to get one.
Brilliant.
My opinion would change if, like, let's say I lived on a farm and I like raised cows and sheep, and I like got to know like a sheep's personality. I don't know if that would change.
Had a
me.
drink with a had a drink with a sheep. Had a date. Had a couple
Sheep are
drinks.
just stupid, aren't they? So how
Oh,
would
no,
you be able
sheep-
to have a
sheep
good
are
relationship with
stupid.
them?
I thought that, but I've heard that actually they're one of the most intelligent livestock. Apparently, they've got a really broad emotional.
Yeah. They look weird.
They look weird.
They do
They
look
do.
weird.
Just look at-
Brandon, if that is
Beautiful.
your basis for it looks weird, therefore let's chop it up and eat it. I feel like there are some humans that aren't safe.
Yeah, scare them as well. And
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
Roadman
By me.
from earlier.
That's it for Science Corner. It was a really eye-opening experience, mouth-opening experience in some cases, apparently.
Yeah,
But thank you for showing us those horrible beasts, Luke, and we'll come back to you next week and see what you got for us then.
Yeah.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, for some trivia to end the show in our weekly segment entitled Factoids,
yes.
where I read out 3 facts, 2 are true, while 1 is a load of bollocks. It is your job to identify the bollocks. That's our tagline. Put that on a shirt.
Oh, merchandise.
Yeah, put that on a cap that says identify the bollocks on it. There you are. Get it done.
Literally beautiful.
So on the back of the talk about alien invasions and extraterrestrial edibles, our factoids today are based around the weird things humanity has fired up into space.
Yep.
if you're all ready, we shall begin. Of course, it goes without saying, no internet is allowed.
Yep.
So I'll read you your 3 facts, and then you guys discuss amongst yourselves which one you think is bollocks.
Yep.
First fact. In 1991, there were 60,000 jellyfish orbiting Earth. Second fact. The French are beaming a TV show for aliens into space. The third fact. The first animal to go into space was a monkey named Albert.
Wait, so how many facts are there? So 2 facts.
So there's 2 facts and 1 bollock.
Alright, the bollock is for jellyfish for me.
I think
Yeah, I think
I'm
I'm
pretty
jellyfish.
sure. I'm pretty
I
sure
thought
that a
the
dog
first
went
animal-
before the monkey.
Yeah, I thought a dog was the first animal to go to space.
I think it was
Yeah,
a
it
dog.
was. Oh, what was its name? Oh,
John.
no, I thought it was something to do with
Yeah,
like Cosmo.
John went to space, the dog.
John the dog. Who named the dog John?
They,
Oh, here's my dog Andrew.
We apologise to everyone if your dog is named Andrew or John.
You know, the famous Russian name, Andrew.
If your dog is named John or Andrew, you made a mistake. I'm sorry. There's a little bit of a detour. It probably might get cut out in the edit. Who knows? But naming dogs like really crushingly normal human things feels like a waste of a dog.
Yeah, but it's funny.
Feels like a waste of an opportunity to name your dog something cool.
Well, like Slasher or something.
Well, not necessarily that. But there are some names. There are some names that work for dogs. So, for example, Vincent works for a dog. It's technically a male first name, but it works for a dog because it's not like you're just going to go down the street and there's 12 Vincents walking around, you know, in WH Smiths or wherever. But John, you name your dog John. Anyway, sorry. Carry on.
I believe it was the third one to be a lie because I'm pretty sure it's a dog as
jellyfish.
How obviously the jellyfish seems too. It kind of seems too much like a lie.
Nah, he's trying to bait
And
us. It's
therefore it
definitely
could be true.
jellyfish.
But I'm trying to wrap my head around how jellyfish could possibly be orbiting our Earth.
Well, actually,
Jellyfish are crazy.
there is a theory,
Oh, no.
big conspiracy theory, but there is a theory that jellyfish are aliens.
Rubbish.
It's not true.
I know
That's
it's not
bollocks.
true.
But you
But
don't know whether or not.
Whoever thought of that conspiracy theory's got too much time on their hands. It's a lie.
Yeah,
It's
the
not
same
true.
people that wear like tin foil on their head, though.
Yeah.
We gotta
Yeah.
keep up with rays somehow. What do you
So-
mean?
So I mean, unless they're like in the space station, just like in there. I don't know.
There's just
I-
how big is the International Space Station crew? Isn't it like 10 people up there or something like that?
Thousands of jellyfish in there.
All the spaceships here, and they open the airlock, and 60,000 jellyfish burst in.
Wait, Jack, what was the third one?
I'll read you the facts again so that you can decide. The first fact: in 1991, there were 60,000 jellyfish orbiting Earth. Second fact: the French are beaming a TV show for aliens into space.
I think
Third
that's true.
fact: the first animal to go into space was a monkey named Albert.
It's definitely
I think-
jellyfish.
No, but what's weird is the 1991. Only
Yeah,
on that
that's
year.
awfully. a
Only on
lot
that
of-
year were there 60,000 jellyfish orbiting Earth.
The space race started in like the 50s, like around then.
Mhm.
I'm sorry. Hold on. I don't think they were like. I don't think the massive world superpowers were competing. How many jellyfish can we get into
I
space?
think I'm all right. I'm making my decision. I think the first one is a lie. Is the bollock.
Yeah, it's a jellyfish.
Jellyfish is the bollock.
Jellyfish is a
I
lie.
don't think it's the jellyfish. I have a feeling that there was like some other space station that they had loads of jellyfish on for
Why?
experiments.
Why?
It's a conspiracy. I'm gonna
Because
tell you why.
think
Well,
about
yeah,
it. They
because
have
it just says jellyfish in space because they're absolutely
Orbiting
crazy.
Earth, it says.
In
Orbiting Earth.
1991.
There are lots of
In
things
1991.
that orbit
and there were space stations in the 90s, I believe.
No,
Oh yeah, I think so.
they closed them all. Too many jellyfish around.
Earth.
What do you reckon, guys?
I think the monkey
It's
one.
the last one. Yeah, I think it's the monkey. I'm with Luke. on
Okay,
this
so we
one.
have an even split. Joe and George reckon it's the jellyfish is the bollock, whereas Brandon and Luke reckon it's the monkey called Albert. You'll be
Yep.
pleased to know that the answer is the animal to go to space was not a monkey called Albert. It's not true. That's the lie.
Liar. You're lying right now.
So let me tell you.
I want an explanation.
Yeah.
So Brandon and Luke were right. In fact, you touched on it about it being a dog. You were right for the wrong reasons. It wasn't a dog that was the first animal to go into space. Although a dog did go. Several dogs have been to space. Actually, I think the one you were thinking of, the Russian one, was called Laika, and tragically died. Was over. It was a stray dog found on the streets, I think Moscow, and they sent it up and it died of overheating.
Sent over to space.
They didn't grab it, throw it in a rocket, and fire it up. They did actually. There was a process, but the dog unfortunately died. In space. They've sent a few dogs up, and a lot of people think that was the first animal to go up. It wasn't. Albert, actually, the monkey called Albert has been to space and did go up before Laika the dog. But the first animals from Earth to go into space were fruit flies.
Oh yeah.
So they were the first animals to go to space.
No, you tried to bait us with that.
So would you like to hear about the context for the jellyfish?
Yes.
Yeah, it is actually true. On June the 5th, 1991, the crew of the Space Shuttle Columbia lifted off with almost 2,500 baby jellyfish in their stead as part of a life sciences experiment.
Oh my god.
By the end of the mission, 9 days later, there were 60,000 of them.
9 days.
9 days. That's how quickly they reproduced.
Jellyfish
Why?
polyps.
What was the purpose?
I don't know why. I don't know why they needed to be in space for that to happen, but
They send up these polyps and they watch as the jellyfish reproduce and whatever. And basically, in the end, they concluded that if when you raise and sort of these life forms mature in space under zero gravity, even though they're in water still, they actually become unfit for life on Earth, and they, I assume, they weren't able to handle the gravitational force of the Earth.
And for those of you who are wondering, the French beaming the TV show into space, that on September 30th, 2006, the French Centre for National Space Studies beamed Cosmic Connection, a TV program aimed at extraterrestrials, at a sun-like star called Eri 45. Oh no, the sun-like star is called Eri, and that star is 45 light years from the Earth. So the video should reach them in 2051.
Wow.
Oh.
What was they come because of a video
cool.
and then we try and kill us all?
What is the point of that? Because they're going to get there. It's going to get there. And if there are aliens on this planet, there might not even be aliens there. How much money do you reckon it costs to beam that into fucking space? And the aliens there are going to get it. These weird fleshy people, French people of all people, running around.
Disappointing it would be to receive a message from a different planet and it's French.
Yeah, these weird beings with hair on top of their heads and 2 arms and 2 legs running around, talking in some godforsaken language to aliens that don't understand it. Possibly can't even comprehend. Maybe they have different visual receptors to us. They might not even be able to comprehend what it is. It's a waste of time. The aliens aren't gonna come back and be like, oh, we saw your TV show.
Yeah,
we thought it was brilliant.
We're really big fans. So
It was really bad when they came to invade us. But we saw your show. It was bad.
Yeah, it's we're waiting for season 2. And the French are like, you only have to wait 100 years for the next season. So that's the end of factoids, and with it, that does it for this week's episode of Cloud 5. We hope you've enjoyed our nonsensical ramblings and perhaps even learned something fun. If you have any questions, facts, corrections, or just plain silliness to send our way, you can contact us at cloud5cast@gmail.com, leave a comment on the Cloud 5 Podcast YouTube channel, or tweet us at Cloud5Cast, or use the hashtag Cloud5. There's a lot of information there, but please get in touch if you liked it or if you hated it and you never want to hear it again. Let us know.
Fine by me.
We'd love to know. Actually, thank you.
We'd love to know. We'd love to know.
Say it to my face.
We'd love to know the extent of your hatred.
Send us hate. Just send us a long email.
Yeah,
I'll make sure to read it.
Dude, you could send us an envelope of shit addressed to Cloud5, and I wouldn't even care.
You could fax me death threats.
Yeah, that's Joe's dinner for the week.
It's interaction, isn't it? It's interaction, and that's what we're here for.
Yeah, that's what we need.
And we're hoping to do this weekly, and we're hoping to iron out any technical difficulties. I'm sure there have been several moments in this podcast where one of us has sounded like we're broadcasting from a washing machine. But
You're not.
We're working with limited technology and what we've got, but hopefully, if this takes off in any way, or if we get upwards of 10 people listening a week, we can invest in some better equipment.
Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah, and hit that bell icon so you can always be updated whenever we post a video.
It turns out that only 4%.
It turns out 4% of our watchers are subscribed.
Well, I've got to say, only 4% of the people who started listening today are still here.
But you're the special ones. You're the real ones.
Lydia, if you're still listening, well bloody done for getting through all of that shit. I'm really sorry you had to go through that, and I hope you and your family are doing all right after it. So with that, we'll see you next week. Love you all, and I hope you tune in again next week.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.